Hi guys, this is Chantal from Gardening with Peaceful Living in H. Lupin is a plant that is guaranteed to give your landscape a wow factor. It is perfect for cottage gardens, pollinator gardens, and can also be used in formal gardens if implemented properly. It loves to be grown in full sun but can also tolerate partial shade. However, it will bloom better for you if it's in full sun. Lupin is also a drought tolerant plant because it has a really long taproot, which makes it difficult to transplant. However, I have been successful in transplanting it. You just have to keep watering it every day a little bit until it starts to perk up on its own. It blooms in mid to late spring and you get to choose from many different varieties that come in many different shades of colors and heights. I have multiple varieties over here. I have Lupin Chandelier, and I guess this is the only variety I have in this tray. I have other trays as well. But they come in really super cool colors. They are just a wonderful plant. But my two favorite varieties are the Governor Lupin and Gallery Pink. Lupin has elongated bloom panicles that bloom from the bottom up, and they have a really long blooming period. Their bloom stalks can even get up to 48 inches long, depending on the varieties, of course. They are perfect for the pollinators such as bumblebees and butterflies, and they attract the hummingbirds. But the most interesting fact about lupins, I think, is their foliage. Their leaves have micro hairs which make them slightly fuzzy, but these micro hairs allow them to capture droplets of water, making them look like they are glistening. These fuzzy leaves aren't just for looks either. They make the plant deer and rabbit resistant. But I have found that in my garden, the deer still go for them. But it might be different in your garden. It also depends on the time of year and what is available to them. If there is not much available for them during that time of year, the deer will go for lupins. There are many different varieties of lupins. Two of these varieties are edible. And these varieties are Lupinus albus, or white lupin, and Lupinus agastifolius, or narrow leaf lupin. And there's a strictly ornamental lupin, which is Lupinus polyphyllus, or big leaf lupin. And this is what I have over here. These two varieties should never be mistaken with each other because the ornamental variety is highly toxic. However, you also need to be careful with the edible variety as it can be poisonous as well if not prepared properly. Lupin beans, which are known as lupini beans, have to be boiled and soaked in water for up to 2 weeks, if not more, in order to remove the bitter alkaloids from them. And their water has to be changed twice daily. And yes, you heard me right, lupin is in the bean family or the legume family, which makes it excellent at nitrogen fixation. But lupin prefers acidic soil of a pH of 5.5 to 6.2. And if the pH is not right, they will have chlorosis. Chlorosis will display itself in yellowing of the leaves. And if the plant is not able to absorb the proper nutrients because of the improper pH of the soil, the leaves will begin to show signs of burning. So having the proper pH is super important in order for the plant to be able to absorb the proper nutrients and in order for the plant to be able to produce its own nitrogen. You can fix a high pH by adding a soil acidifier such as phosphorus, which is an organic compound found in the soil, and it will help lower the pH of your soil. But it has to be added at a yearly basis. If you do not know the pH of your soil, you can test it by using a soil pH testing kit, and I'll put a link to the one that I use in the description box below. One super cool fact about ornamental lupin is that it can be used to dye fabrics such as cotton and wool. Both the leaves and the blooms can be used to create a stunning green dye, which is very difficult to achieve if you are using natural dyes. But there is something really important to pay attention about, and that is lupin can be invasive in some states. You can tell if lupin is invasive in your state by going to your state's agricultural department's website and checking their invasive species plant list. Unfortunately, this variety of lupin, Lupinus polyphyllus, is on the invasive species watch list in New England, which means that one day it can become invasive. And there is an invasive sub-variety of this exact species, which is the blue lupin. So this is something that you'll want to be aware of when you are growing lupins. However, there are a lot of varieties that are not on the invasive species list, and you probably can find a list of them online. An easy way to control how these plants spread is by deadheading them once they are done blooming and before they set their seeds. A nice bonus if you do deadhead them is that they will bloom again again for you in the summer. Just make sure to give them a small dose of fertilizer after you are done deadheading them to ensure that they have enough energy in order to bloom for you again. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you again in the next video. Bye!